Do you know how many people live in extreme poverty? According to actionagainsthunger.org, there are 767 million people who live on less than $1.90 per day, an amount that is incapable of supporting a healthy livelihood in any part of the world. Poverty is a problem, and sponsoring a child is a solution to that problem. Connecting one child with one sponsor is the most strategic way to help children who are living in poverty. Through Compassion International, there have been 1.8 million children who have been sponsored. When you sponsor a child through Compassion International, you receive the child's photo and their personal story. You send $38 a month to help support the child. You also send letters back and forth to offer encouragement to the child. My family has personally sponsored a child through Compassion International. I was in middle school at the time, so my parents were the ones that gave money to the girl, but I was also involved in the sponsorship. I remember picking out family pictures that we would send to her. I also remember writing her letters. One of the things I remember most about the letters that we received back from her was how much joy and thankfulness was present in every one of them. When you sponsor a child through Compassion International, you help nurture the mind, body, heart, and spirit of that child. Let's first take a look and see how your sponsorship will nurture their mind. I had asked my audience members if they knew about any organizations that they could sponsor a child through. One of the audience members mentioned that there are many global organizations, but she didn't know about any specific ones. I'm excited to tell you about Compassion International, a program that you can sponsor a child through. When you sponsor a child through Compassion International, you help nurture their mind by making sure they're provided with the education. Many children that live in poverty don't always receive the education that they should. When you sponsor a child, you make sure that child receives after-school tutoring, and the curriculum that's used during that tutoring is targeted specifically to that child. Some of your money also goes towards different school fees like supplies and uniforms. Some of your money also goes towards different programs. These programs can be art and music workshops. Other programs involve learning life skills and occupational training. According to Compassion.org, Compassion-sponsored children are 27 to 40% more likely to finish secondary education. By sponsoring a child, you become the reason why that child receives an education. So your money not only helps support the nurturing of their mind, but also their body as well. Many children that live in poverty are in poor health. When you sponsor a child, that child receives checkups regularly. The child will also be provided nutritious food. The child will also be educated about nutrition, hygiene, sanitation, and so on. When you sponsor a child, you become the reason why that child's health may improve. So by sponsoring a child, you nurture their body as well as their heart. Many children that live in poverty don't always have a support system that they can lean on. When you sponsor a child, you become that support system. You are the one that is able to encourage them and love them. And not only will you be loving and encouraging them, but so will the Compassion staff. The Compassion staff will pour their love into these children. They also teach the children to value their strengths and just recognize how valuable they are in general. The relationship that you create with a child you sponsor is what will have a lasting impact. So you'll be nurturing their heart, but you'll be nurturing their spirit as well. Children that live in poverty don't always have a church community that they can lean on. When a child is sponsored through Compassion International, they are taught about how much God loves them. They are also able to get involved in church and Bible study. Another really great thing that compassion children are able to do are service projects. And this is amazing because the service projects help them get into their community and give back to them with joy. According to blog.compassion.com, sponsored children are 50 to 80% more likely to become leaders within their community. So when you sponsor a child, you become the reason why they're taught about God's love and how to give back to their community. I asked my audience if they truly believe that they can make a difference in a child's life by sponsoring them. And every single one of them said yes. I especially like what one of the audience members said. She said, "It's a good feeling to see children grow into amazing people, but it's also an amazing feeling that you experience in your heart when you become a support resource for that child." Now let's review all the ways that you will personally make a difference in a child's life by sponsoring them. By sponsoring a child, you become a part of the solution that will help children living in poverty. When you sponsor a child, you're the reason why that child's mind, body, heart, and spirit will be nurtured. I encourage you to sponsor a child because when you do, you'll make a difference and give that child a strong opportunity to overcome poverty.